Hi everyone, I'm Erin Dugan from Fox 56 Sports and welcome to the High School Hoops pregame report. Tonight is the last day of Suits and Sneakers Week for Coaches vs. Cancer. It's been another successful campaign, which included a special gathering at PNC Field last Saturday. Tonight we bring you a very special game as Abington Heights takes on Scranton Prep in the battle of the top two teams in the Lackawanna League Division 1. The Comets come in as the top seed right now in the new District 2 5A standings. Scranton Prep has beaten the Comets 3 straight times, including their only meeting of the season so far. Both teams are ranked in the top 10 in the state for their classes, according to multiple polls. I'll be back during tonight's game with special interviews and to tell you how you can make a donation to Coaches vs. Cancer. Time now to get you out to this week's High School Hoops.
It's High School Hoops on MyTV WQMY, brought to you by Wendy's.
Well, welcome everyone to St. Francis Xavier Center in Scranton, as there will be tears, cheers, and maybe some laughs as we have a special celebration, but also a great basketball game between Abington Heights and Scranton Prep. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide. We'll join tonight courtside by Matt Schaefer. Aaron Dugan will join us shortly. And Matt, you've been involved with Coaches vs. Cancer and Suits and Sneakers Week since the beginning, some 9 years ago. This is the culmination of Suits and Sneakers Week and another great campaign.
That's right. Bob, this is the fourth year the Scranton Preps hosted this powerful and emotional ceremony here, honoring those that have fallen to cancer and those that are still battling. It's a great night to be able to sit courtside and watch the power of the message. That's a true testament to what has been adopted by all of the local programs.
One of the better ceremonies in our area is held right here at Scranton Prep, and time now to join the chair of Coaches vs. Cancer NEPA, Andrew Kettle, with tonight's ceremony.
If I could have a few minutes of your time before tonight's game, I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2017 Coaches vs. Cancer Suits and Sneakers game here at Scranton Prep between Abington Heights and Scranton Prep. The American Cancer Society and Coaches vs. Cancer is a partnership with the National Association of Basketball Coaches. It is a campaign that's run throughout the country, mostly at the Division I college level, and throughout lower levels of college and high school. Over the past 9 years, Coaches vs. Cancer of NEPA has raised over $1.2 million throughout events like this each year with our Suits and Sneakers Week. We could not do this without the teamwork of all the schools, students, faculties, families, fans, sponsors, and pretty much everyone gathered here tonight in all the gyms across District 2. At this time, I would like to welcome Mr. Greg Gagoric, President of Toyota of Scranton. Toyota of Scranton is this year's presenting sponsor. Greg?
Good evening. Tonight we're gathered to support these amazing students from Abington Heights and Scranton Prep as they come together to stand against cancer. And I think it's time we can all reflect. While there's two great teams on the court, we should all reflect on what team means to each of us. And for me, team means a group of people coming together with one goal and one objective. And tonight, everyone in this room should be united as one team with one goal. For one day, live in a world where none of us and none of our friends and none of our family members will ever have to hear the words, "You have cancer" again. These students are amazing for what they do. I can't thank them enough for their efforts. Have a great night. Play hard.
Thank you, Greg. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Brian Costanzo of the Brian Forgione Foundation to come and speak. The Brian Forgione Foundation has been a sponsor of Suits and Sneakers Week for the past few years, and we'd like for Brian to come up and share a few words.
Thank you, Andrew. For those of you who don't know, Brian Forgione was a young athlete from Dublin High School who unfortunately passed away from cancer back in 2002 at the young age of 24. So when we put this, when the family and friends of Brian put this foundation together almost 15 years ago, this is exactly the vision that we had, is to be able to help students or individuals from Northeast PA and hope that young students at the age of 24 or younger are not affected by cancer, and we can beat this thing together. That's why we are involved with Northeast PA's Coaches versus Cancer. I congratulate everybody that is involved, all the high schools, all the coaches, all the referees. We thank you. Let's keep the fight going forward, and we thank for being part of this event tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. At this time, I would like to call up Mr. Justin Davis, Commonwealth Health. Justin is the CEO of Regional Hospital and Moses Taylor Hospital.
Good evening, everybody. I think that we first need to start off by giving Coach Kettle a round of applause for pulling off that purple blazer. On behalf of Commonwealth Health, we are honored to be a part of Coaches versus Cancer. We thank Coach Kettle and the entire committee for their incredible leadership. I'll be very honest with you. My sister was a survivor of childhood cancer, so I've always had a healthy respect for the disease and all that it entails. It's my goal that through efforts like this tonight, that when my children are my age, they don't ever have to worry about a cancer diagnosis. I'll leave you with this. For the students in the room, it might seem really far away right now. Cancer is something that you don't deal with and you don't have to think about. But the years have a way of catching up with you. And it's our goal at Commonwealth Health to bring things like advanced clinical trials right here to Lackawanna County so that, God forbid, somebody does end up with a diagnosis, it doesn't also mean a lot of trips up and down the turnpike to Philadelphia. Thank you very much for allowing us to participate.
Thank you, Justin. Coaches versus Cancer and the American Cancer Society, with the monies raised, they're able to fund many local programs to help local cancer patients. They also help fund national research. I think we all need to understand that there's so many organizations, aside from the American Cancer Society, that raises money to either help local people or find a cure for this terrible disease. I would like to congratulate the Abington Heights girls basketball team and their effort for the pink game last night and raising over $26,000 for the Foundation for Cancer Care. Congratulations. At this time, I would like to welcome someone who many of you in this room know, who has battled this disease not once but twice, and she's here tonight to share her story of success and just the will to live and just a great personality and the love of life. If Kathy McDonald could please come up. And her family.
Hi, my name is Kathy McDonald, and I'm fighting cancer for the second time. I have 3 kids that have and still do play sports in the Abington Heights. Even though my kids do play sports at Abington Heights, we have met so many amazing and incredible people throughout many school districts during our journey. I stand before you today in the midst of my second fight with breast cancer, asking and thanking all of you for your donations for such a great cause. Just like in basketball, you can't win as an individual, but you need your teammates to win the game. and I'm in the middle of playing in the toughest game with the toughest opponent called cancer. I feel like I have the best teammates to win this fight. My teammates are all of you, and together with all the donations and the support, we will find a way to conquer this opponent. We all know and have been touched by somebody with cancer that has become very personal to all of us. For everyone fighting this dreaded disease, hold your family, friends, enjoy every day, moment, laugh, cry, while still in this game called life. I would like to thank Coach Kettle and Fox 56 News for this opportunity to share my story. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. At this time, we would like to call and ask any cancer survivors who are here with us tonight, any caregivers of someone who battled this disease, or anyone who's currently battling this disease, to come down to the floor and do a walk of hope around the court with the senior boys from Abington Heights and Scranton Prep. While the walk of hope is going on, the song Hallelujah will be performed by Michelle Conaboy. Michelle?
I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. You know, I used to live alone before I knew ya. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch, and love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew ya. And it's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you to everyone who joined us. To help the cause, we know we see a lot of the shirts in the stand tonight. We have shirts out in the dining hall for sale. We have basket raffles. If you could please continue to help us with this battle and raise funds and awareness, we'd truly appreciate it. Our JV and varsity team signed a ball of hope, and they wrote the names of loved ones, friends, family, and people who meant a lot to them, who were either battling this disease or who had come to end their life with this disease. Tonight we play for those people. Thank you for all the support. Coach Bianchi and Abington Heights, thank you so much. It's going to be a great basketball game. Thank you to Fox 56 for all they do for local high school sports. Thank you.
Matt, every time we go through these, even last year at Elk Lake, it brings a tear. It touches everyone. Cancer, it really does touch everyone, not only in this room, but throughout the world.
Yeah, it doesn't discriminate.
No.
You have athletes out here, you have cheerleaders, you have coaches. You have a lot of people that can be involved in some pretty strong ways with the basketball. And they can win. And when it comes to cancer, you might not have the option. And it's nights like tonight that can rally a team around you and give you the hope to continue to fight, continue to pray, and continue to battle. And tonight's a great example of a team, the whole atmosphere, the environment, and everything that a community can do to help battle this terrible disease.
And it's been a tough one around this community of Scranton Prep. If you watched the Fox 56 Sports Show last week, Linda Jones, the mother of the assistant coach, Billy Jones, who is close to Matt and I, and of course the Scranton Prep community. His mother succumbed to leukemia and cancer last Friday. Prep went out and played a game. They're still playing with heavy hearts. And a lot of the seniors on this team were very close to Linda Jones because Billy was their freshman coach. So our hearts and prayers go out with Billy. And that's just one of the many that we'll be talking about tonight.
That's right. And, it was great to see after the game on Friday night, West Scranton joined Scranton Prep in a prayer for Mrs. Jones. And I know that it was definitely emotional and heartfelt. Billy Jones has been here for 4 years. So the senior class that was, they've been here, he was their coach the whole time they've been here. So, I had a brief conversation with Billy, and he said that, he took it well because he knew that she was in a better place. And at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we remember that part as well.
One of the speakers you saw tonight was Kathy McDonald from Abington Heights, and our own Aaron Dugan caught up with her last week. And Aaron, just another inspiration when you talk about this dreaded disease and the fight against cancer.
Absolutely, Bob. I'm still taken aback by that beautiful ceremony. What a fantastic job. And as you mentioned, we are here for a basketball game here tonight, but that's not really what we're here for. It's all about the cause tonight. We want you to donate at cvcbasketball.org. And earlier, you got a chance to catch up with Kathy McDonald, a local survivor. I got a chance to meet Kathy this week. Such an inspiration, such a brave woman, and I was so honored to tell her story. Almost 10 years ago, then 34-year-old Kathy McDonald of Clark Summit got the news no one ever wants to hear.
I found a lump, and I went to get it checked, and it just snowballed from there. Honestly, didn't think I would have cancer at the age of 34 with no history. So I wasn't really worried about it. And then I got that phone call. It was a lot of work. It's a lot of work to have cancer and not get paid for it. Believe me, it's a lot of work. And then it's just constant visits, constant stuff, making sure you understand one thing leading up to the other thing, this person, that person. And I had great doctors, so I was very fortunate. It took me a good year and a half to get back to normal. Comfortably wise, I always had that when the other shoe was going to fall. But as the years went by, I was like, this is good. Yeah. I'm at 3, 4, 5, 6 years cancer-free, 7, 8. I was at 9.
After enjoying 9 cancer-free years, This past September 2016, the unthinkable happened.
I saw my oncologist, who is Dr. Liptak, Kristen Liptak. Normal visit, she did my blood work, everything was perfect. They do a test called tumor markers, but that test doesn't come back that same day, it comes back the next day. So she said, okay, see you in 6 months. Well, I got the phone call the next day that my tumor markers were slightly elevated. So I went and I got I think it was a CAT scan, and they found a 1.3 centimeters. It was in the back of the sternum. We weren't sure what it was at that point because it was way in the back. So they found something, but we didn't know it was cancer at that point because nobody can get at it. So we went and I got a PET scan and it lit up. Devastating. I wasn't expecting that, honestly. I really wasn't. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. But it is what it is. I mean, I can't change it, so I gotta move on.
During Kathy's first diagnosis years ago, her children were very young and didn't fully understand what was going on. This time around was a little different.
Renee is my youngest, who's 11. She'll be 12. She was turning 3. Because I remember all her Barbies were bald. And she did like little bandanas for them. So yeah, they were young. So they didn't know much back then. They didn't get it the first time. And when I lost my hair, it was kind of like, you know how when you get sick, you have to take an antibiotic to make yourself feel better? Well, Mommy has a sickness that had to take something to make me feel better. Unfortunately, made me lose my hair. Bam, done. It was good. Didn't scare them. They didn't need to know a lot back then. This time around is a little different because I have a 17-year-old who's in biology who knows about cancer cells. He's not an idiot. He gets it.
Besides her children, Ray Jr., Rachel, and Renee, and her close friends, Kathy says that she relied heavily on her loving husband, Ray, to get her through those dark days.
Oh, I've been with him since 94. 94, we got married, 97. So we've been married 20 years. He's my best friend. He really is. He's funny. I mean, we joke around. Like, we have fun. We just have fun.
Nothing brings Kathy more joy than watching her daughters on the basketball court. And in a show of solidarity, her daughter Rachel's travel basketball team, sponsored by Jerry Rose and Tim Lavelle, named the squad Team Lovey, after the endearing phrase Kathy uses for everyone.
Oh, I love it. The girls love it. They love it. They have the little pink shirts on that says Team Lovey, so they love it. Well, I got good news today. We were waiting on that the PET scan came back good, meaning it's not eradicated or anything like that, but nobody expected that to be, but everything has shrunk, which is excellent, and there was nothing more showing up anywhere. So now I'll be on an oral chemotherapy and a shot once a month. So that's all good news. Yeah, I was thrilled with that. Yeah.
Even though Kathy's most recent PET scan was good news, she's still going to have to be vigilant for the rest of her life. But with her spunky attitude, her great sense of humor, and the support of so many, she knows her days will always be bright and cheerful.
I got through it at the age of 34. I'm going through it now at the age of 43. And I'm doing wonderful. Great. So there is hope out there. It's not easy, but there's hope.
Kathy, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. You're an inspiration to everyone. Well, make sure to stay with us. We are raising money for Coaches versus Cancer here tonight. Visit cvcbasketball.org for donations. We'll be right back.
Well, after the ceremony, both teams on the floor warming up, and we're getting ready for one of the most anticipated rematches in the century. Abington Heights taking on Scranton Prep. Welcome back, everyone. Bob Ide along with Matt Schaefer. And Matt, let's take a look at the Lackawanna League Division I standings. And no surprise, right up at the top, you see Scranton Prep 8-0. Abington, their only loss, of course, to Scranton Prep. Then you have Scranton, West Scranton, and Valley View. So as expected, this is probably the battle to see who will either win or tie for the top spot. These two teams did play before, though, Matt, January 11th, and we'll take a look at those highlights now. Big crowd on hand. Comets came out strong. George Tinsley, the sophomore, with a big trifecta. He'd finish with 14 points in that game. Prep would race out to a 25-20 halftime lead. Jake Brown with the up and under layup. Abington Heights, they have a 7-footer though. What a great pass from Jackson Danzig. The big alley-oop. And the Comets tried to get back in this one, and they did. With a big fourth quarter, Trey Kohler finds space. He had 10 points, and we're tied at 51. It came down to this last shot. Patty Casey on the move finds sophomore Leo O'Boyle, and he calmly hits the downtown big three. Prep wins it, Matt, 54-51. We anticipate same kind of game here tonight.
That's right. This game's going to have a lot of emotion involved. You had a great ceremony before the game. How does that translate? Can the kids move on from standing for 15 minutes, having emotions, having their thoughts move to tears, to smiles, to hugs? And how can they transition back to a game that they've played all year long? Tonight's game is going to have two of the best teams in the area. The key to this game is going to be how quickly can one of these teams jump out.
That's right, and to do that, Abington Heights counting on their 7-footer, Seth Maxwell.
That's right. Seth is a 7-footer. He can own the paint. Seth can finish at the rim. He can block shots. The key to what Seth needs to do tonight is defensively, he needs to make Prep shoot mid-range jumpers and shoot threes. And then Abington has to rebound. If Seth can have a double-double, 15 points, and 12 to 15 rebounds, I think Prep has a great chance at coming out of here tonight with the win.
On the other side, the Cavaliers going to count on one of the smaller guys on the court, 6'1" senior Patty Casey.
That's right. Patty Casey's a University of Sciences recruit. He's going down to the Division II program on a full athletic scholarship. Patty can control both sides of the court from Prep's standpoint. He's very intense. He can control and nudge you defensively into taking shots you don't want to. He'll have you settle for mid-range jumpers because not only is he strong, but he's athletic to beat you back to the spot. And on the offensive end, he's strong enough, smart enough, and calm enough to be able to take everyone on Prep's side and tell them where they need to go, when they need to get there, and run the offense from there.
Casey with 24 three-pointers on the year. So, Matt, you've seen these two teams before. You've broken it down for us. What are some of your keys for the game? First up, the Comets.
Abington's biggest thing is they need to control pressure. In the first game, Scranton Prep's defense forced 24 turnovers. In the first half alone, they had about 16 turnovers. Once Abington moved to a better ball handling system, working the ball with the pass, throwing it over the zone, it forced Prep to move back. And if Abington can come out and handle that pressure early, then I think that they'll be able to push this game into a half-court set, which benefits Abington. And at that point, Abington needs to use their size. They need to rebound on both the offensive and the defensive sides of the basketball. They have a 7-footer, and they have some pretty good size around him. They have some very intense guards in Tinsley and Kohler that can rebound as well. The key tonight for Abington, can they control tempo and can they control the rebounds?
And they're used to playing right here at the St. Francis Xavier Center. How about Prep, the Cavaliers on the other side? They want to fly it up and down the court.
That's right. Prep, everyone knows that Prep loves to run. Prep is all about getting that ball out, getting that ball to the three-point line. Can they get it to the three-point line, and then can they get it to the high post? And if they can get to the high post with a dribble or two, then what they're going to do is cause Seth Maxwell to step up. And if they can get Seth Maxwell in trouble, then they're going to try to run all day long. The other part of that is all of your tempo is going to start from the defensive side of the ball. Can they force Abington into bad passes and bad shots? And if they do, they'll be able to get out on the break and get some easy baskets. Second part of that is if Abington takes some tough shots, they have the size to be able to offensive rebound. And if Prep doesn't box out, and if Prep doesn't control the defensive rebounds, then Abington's going to be able to get a couple second chance points, and Prep's going to have to go deeper into their bench.
You'll see all the players wearing the blue shirts for Coaches versus Cancer, and Aaron Dugan now standing by with two of the sponsors for this year's Suits and Sneakers Week. Aaron?
Well, Bob, Coaches versus Cancer wouldn't be the same without great sponsors. We've got two of them here tonight. Greg Gagoric from Toyota of Scranton, of course, and Justin Davis, the CEO of Regional Hospital Scranton and Moses Taylor Hospital. Thanks for being here tonight, guys. First, let's talk about, Justin, what makes you want to be involved with this great organization?
Well, you're talking about an organization that raises money for the American Cancer Society, which is a fabulous charity nationwide, and it inspires our community, it inspires the youth in our community. So we were honored to be asked to participate.
Something that you mentioned in the ceremony, I want to go over that. The Integrated Network Cancer Program. Tell me about this.
The Integrated Network Cancer Program is a program we started last year in partnership with Commonwealth Health, Delta Medics Physicians, and Thomas Jefferson Kimmel Cancer Network. And our goal is to create a program that brings clinical trials and advanced cancer medicine right here to the city of Scranton so that a cancer diagnosis doesn't also include a lot of mileage on the turnpike.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being a part of Coaches versus Cancer.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we'll bring in Greg now, very familiar face with Coaches versus Cancer. You've been involved for so many years. What keeps you motivated to come back year after year to get back to this cause?
It's all the kids. The kids are great. Every year we get a new group of kids in there dedicating their time and energy and raising funds for cancer. It's great to support them.
Such a powerful ceremony right before, just so touching. What can you say about the community coming together tonight?
It's everything. It's so touching to our hearts, and it really makes us want to come back and do more.
Well, thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Some great sponsors, been here a long time, and of course, Coaches versus Cancer could go in nowhere without them. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and tonight's national anthem. Back in Scranton for tonight's big-time Lackawanna League matchup between two state-ranked teams, the Comets from Abington Heights and the Cavaliers from Scranton Prep. Matt, a huge crowd as expected on hand. The snow can't keep these people away. And boy, this should be a good one, and hopefully it comes down right to the last second again.
Yeah, it happened in the first game, 3 at the end by Leo Boyle gave him the win. I think tonight's going to have the same level of intensity. Look forward to a great game.
As you see this game, who has to get out to the better start?
I think Abington does. I think that Prep's been through this exact ceremony each of the last 3 years. And Abington has had a similar ceremony, but they've got to take that first punch that Prep's going to give them. They got to get out, they got to get an early lead, and they got to allow their emotions to reset.
Getting set now for tonight's national anthem. Our colors will be presented by the United States Army Scranton Recruiting Center. They'll come to the middle of the floor, and then we'll have our national anthem sung tonight by Scranton Prep freshman Nadia Tomszewski. Here now are United States colors presented by the U.S. Army Scranton Recruiting Center.
Singing our national anthem this evening, Scranton Prep freshman Nadia Tomaszewski.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs burst
time to get down to some basketball, and let's check tonight's starting lineups. The Comets coming in 15-2 overall. There you see the 7-foot center, Seth Maxwell. A couple of big-time sophomores in there, Tinsley and Kohler, surrounded by Jackson Danzig, a junior, and Tommy Rothenberger in the starting lineup as the point guard. For Scranton Prep, it's been the lineup for the last couple of seasons, 4 starters returning, and then Wes Simmons in there. Under the coaching of Andrew Kettle, it will be Simmons, Para, Dende, Casey, and Bailey to begin this one. Our referees tonight are Randy Wolf, Bill Gross, Jeff Laboranti. We are getting set for basketball on a Tuesday night in northeastern Pennsylvania. The Comets and the Cavaliers. Pair to jump against Maxwell, and this is Rothenberger for the Comets. Comets average 59 points per game coming in. They can shoot pretty well from the field goals. Matt, 47% on the year, 30% from threes.
That's right. Abington needs to move the ball. They've got their big guy, Seth Maxwell, out here as a passer. Quick shot, ball's bounced around. Trey Kohler ends up with a foul line jumper. Good. Great way for Abington Heights to start the game.
Kohler's first 2 of the night. He averages about 11.2 points per game. This is Logan Bailey, the senior.
If Abington Heights can hit a couple jump shots early, it's going to cause Scranton Prep to slow their break down. Great take by Patty Casey. Has to keep going into the chest of Seth Maxwell. And then a deep 3 by Chris Dende.
Dende shoots, and Matt, one change in the lineup. Leo O'Boyle is in for Wes Simmons tonight.
Leo O'Boyle's kid hit a big 3 at the buzzer. Give Prep the win in the first outing. He's a sophomore that's earned some time. He's getting some Division I looks early.
How about Seth Maxwell, a trifecta?
You're not going to hear me complain about a 7-footer shooting threes. I like his style.
His 3rd of the season from downtown, and suddenly a 5-0 lead for the visiting Comets. Of course, Prep led in the last one at half by 5, and they controlled most of that game. Looks like the Comets are coming out with maybe a little revenge on their minds. They don't like to lose to the Cavaliers, especially at home. They love to duplicate that here, and that's going to be a travel against Nick Dende.
That's right, good defense. Dende made a great take, just looked like slipped a little bit. Quick turnover. Now here's the key to the game. We talked about this before the game. What can Abington do when Prep tries to force tempo? You look in the backcourt right now, they're going to try to get the ball to Rothenberger and go one-on-one to bring it up. If Prep switches to a zone, then you're going to see Abington have to force the pass to beat the zone.
Danzig getting caught in the corner. Casey guarding him. Almost knocked away from Dende. Maxwell maybe feeling it out there, but O'Boyle got out on him quickly. Rothenberger looking for a screen. Gets it. Gets cut off from the layup, and we're going to have a travel call. So a couple of nerves for each team early on.
Like we talked about, are they going to be able to handle the emotion early in the game? Both teams have had their turnover. Hopefully that's the punch in the gut they need to turn around and just play basketball.
Prep averaging 68 points per game. They shoot 64% from the foul line. Pair blocked away by Maxwell. So almost 3 minutes into the game, and the Cavaliers held scoreless. Credit to the Abington defense. They give up only 36 points per game. Tinsley to the corner. Maxwell, Seth downtown. Quick timeout. Andrew Kettle, 30, will stay right here.
It's a great job. One of the game plans that they talked about, quick conversation with Coach McLean before the game, was they needed a big game out of Seth Maxwell. And if Seth Maxwell had a big game, they were going to be able to really challenge Prep today. Great baseline drive by Trey Kohler. At first I thought that he should have taken that layup. Didn't realize that Seth Maxwell had bumped down to the corner. Great spot up by the 7-footer, good form. 2 for 2 from the 3-point line.
Yeah, came in 2 of 12 on the season, and He must be feeling it here.
That's right. One of the things you've seen so far also is that Abington Heights has not taken the first shot. And sometimes Prep's defensive pressure can cause a team to take the first shot that they see. If you notice there, they actually had two different shots that, in my mind, they could have or should have taken. One of them was Kohler in the corner. Second one was Kohler as a layup. But he found a great pass along the baseline to Evan Maxwell, who had slid down to the corner.
Saw Ken Bianchi, the longtime coach of the Comets. 21st season for him, along with Jeff McClain on the bench. To go back a long time, they've had great success with the Abington Heights program. Downtown Casey off the mark.
Seth Maxwell running the floor. First guy down the court, your 7-footer that got the rebound. That's a great start for Maxwell. If he keeps up this intensity, he's going to have a great game.
Right now, the pace favors the Comets. It's a half-court game. Just exactly what this type of team looks for. They thrive at this. Kohler off the mark. Here comes Casey looking up, trying to quicken the pace. Leo O'Boyle had the last-second shot in the first meeting to win it. Dende downtown.
Second miss from at least 2 feet behind the three-point line. Dendy could hit those, though. He's a great shooter. The best way for a good shooter to get out of a slump, keep shooting them. You'll hit one of them will go.
Cavaliers 0 for 4 here early on. Try to get it down, and it's off the mark. So the Comets have come into Scranton, and they've come with a mission. They lead the Cavaliers 8-0, 3:36 left in the first.
Our marquee matchup tonight, Trey Kohler, guard from Abington Heights, and Logan Bailey, guard from Scranton Prep. Both of these players, high energy guys. Both of them can get into the lane. We've seen so far Trey Kohler has had a great job of creating shots for his teammates. If Logan Bailey can do the same thing here in the next couple of minutes, I'd see Prep to break this slump that they're in.
Lost. Here comes Danzig. Doesn't have the numbers, but he's going to push it anyway. Knocked away by Dende. First chance of a quick break for Prep, but Abington gets down. Casey, smallest player on the court, takes it away from the 7-footer, and Cavaliers are on the board.
Love the way Patty Casey plays. As I said, if Prep moves into more of a zone press, then Abington has to look to work the ball. Quick pass by Rothenberger to Tinsley's, tipped out of bounds by Brett Para. Abington ball.
Here you see it again, Matt. Nice job by Casey getting in front of Seth Maxwell.
All a rebound and a putback like that tells you is that kid's a tough kid. You need a tough kid like that on your team. Every team needs a kid like that.
Here is the sophomore Kohler. Finding room, blocked away. Cavaliers up quick. Dende down, high off the glass, no good.
Seth Maxwell with a good foot and a half above the rim to alter that shot. As we said, if he can own the paint, feel it, that'll help Abington.
Comets with out-of-league wins against LaSalle, Berks Catholic, Methacton. So they've gone on the road and hosted some teams out of the area to get ready for the district playoffs and hopefully the state playoffs.
Here you go, Prep's trying to run their break again. They want to get out, force tempo.
Dende headed to Catholic University, sets it up, gives it over to the Para.
One switch that you saw coming out of that timeout, Seth Maxwell for the first 4 minutes of the game was guarding Brett Para. Seth Maxwell switched on to Leo O'Boyle. I'm not sure that that necessarily fits what Abington Heights needs out of Maxwell. They need him to own the paint and be a shot blocker. And Leo O'Boyle can shoot threes.
First miss of the night for Maxwell. Bailey gonna push the pace. Take a one-on-one, doesn't get the call.
Another block shot by Maxwell. If you can't block it, just change the shot.
No kick called.
Referees are doing a great job, Bob.
Pair up and under, but Maxwell got a piece of it. Well, that's what a 7-footer will do when he's down low. Just
changes shots.
That's all he does. Jake Brown into the game.
Jake Brown's an emotion guy. He's going to bring a little bit of emotion off the bench every time he gets into the game. His success as a player this year has been that he can bring emotion. He can be a quick starter for that team off the bench.
Simon's in the game as well. And finally, a long-range shot connects. Dende from downtown, 37-3 on the year. The lead cut to 3 now. Under a minute to play in a entertaining first quarter, very low scoring.
Gamer runs 8 straight by the Comets, 5 straight by the Cavaliers. Block shot by Dende out of bounds on a strong take by Kohler.
They get it into the sophomore, racked it around to the senior. Rothenberger, no good. Getting up quickly was Tinsley, and it goes over to Prep.
Referees have set the tone that they're going to let them bang a little bit. Just knowing this crew from having worked with them for years, there's a pretty good chance that they're going to let you try to block shots, and occasionally a little bit of body might also come in.
Let's see if Prep will play for the last shot of the quarter. Simon's down low. Brown found him. He'll go to the line. Looks like to shoot 2.
Jake Brown with a great take, baseline dump off. You see Tinsley step over, tried to step in and swipe the ball. Perhaps if he had taken a step over earlier. One of the things you try to teach your young players early is a shell drill. Part of that shell drill is that if the ball's on the other side of the court, as a defender, you've got to step closer to the ball. There's a line, imaginary line right down the middle of the court called the help line. Little kids get to the help line. 2 free throws by Simons.
Yeah, if they get that, they're in pretty good shape. He shoots just 45% from the charity stripe. Comets looking for the last shot, under 10. To the hole, Kohler, Danzig. Can't get it to go, and that's the way the quarter will close. 8 straight from Abington, 7 straight by Prep. Comets lead by 1 after 1.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this great Coaches versus Cancer game here tonight. Before tonight's game, there was a fantastic ceremony, and you were part of that. This is Brian Costanzo from the Brian Forgione Foundation. Tell us about the foundation and what you guys are all about.
Brian Forgione Foundation. Brian was actually a student athlete, Dummer High School, graduated class in 1996, and was an aspiring teacher, coach. Unfortunately, lost his battle with cancer at a young age of 24. So not long after, family and friends got together, we formed a little foundation, or actually started off as a little golf tournament. 15 years later, we're a foundation, mostly giving back to needs in Northeast Pennsylvania, but we also do some regional and national things that we're trying to give back and make a difference in the fight against cancer.
And this is your 4th year working with Coaches versus Cancer. What keeps you coming back and working with this organization? Well,
yeah, this is our 4th year as a Suits and Sneakers Week sponsor, which is a great fit for us. Mm-hmm. You know, when we started the foundation maybe 10 years ago, the vision was exactly this, to be able to find organizations in our region that are giving back and helping against the fight with the fight against cancer. And so you walk in a gymnasium like this and see all the young people. You hope that what we're doing can make a difference, and some youngster, 24, younger, older, whatever it might be, doesn't have to face that battle because of what we're doing today.
Definitely. And lastly, if you'd just like to give us some information, if people would like to find out how they can donate or find out more information.
Sure. BrianForgione.org is our website. We're on all of the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Brian Forgione Foundation. You could search us in any of those areas. check out what we're doing. A lot of fun things coming up. We do an annual golf tournament, some fundraisers later in the year. So check us out and see what's going on.
All right. Well, as always, thanks for stopping by. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Okay, Bob.
Thank you, Brian. Good to see you again. Score remains the same, 8-7. Just about 7 minutes left in this half. Both teams have made their runs.
Trying to do too much. Got to get rid of that ball.
And you talked about the referees. They are going to let them play. 3 of the better ones in the Lackawanna League. And no one had possession of it, so no whistle. So a couple more subs as Bailey and Para will check back in for the Cavaliers. And
one of the other things that's key tonight is substitutions. And Abington Heights would rather go 5 deep. Media timeouts tonight give another 4 timeouts in this game. And that's going to have a positive effect for Abington. They can stick to their game plan, try to use the 5 guys that they want. If Prep can continue to run, that wears those 5 guys down. Prep can go 7, 8, 9 deep and not have a very big drop-off. There's a true consistency on that team.
Kohler caught underneath. Picked up, here come the Cavaliers. They 2-on-2 break. Bailey all the way down. Gets it over to Maxwell. His first bucket of the night. And Prep has their first lead by 1. Shots were falling early on for the Comets, not falling now.
Comets have gone about 7 minutes without a bucket. Score stuck 9-8 with 6:20 left. Big 3 by Wes Simons. George Tinsley's playing tough right now. That little skirmish at the high post on the ground really lit him up. You see the intensity and the emotion that he's playing with right now. Great block by Brett Para.
Yeah, Para on the, speaking of Tinsley and Kohler, 2 great sophomores. For Abington Heights, and there's a foul. As Tinsley was trying to post underneath, Simons picks up his first of the night.
Every team guards the out of bounds differently. I'm a big proponent of put your butt to the baseline, see who's coming at you, and make sure that you can make some contact so that you can keep them out of a position to score.
There's Jackson Danzig, his father, of course, Carl Danzig, head coach of the University of Scranton. Remember his brother Ross.
With the basketball right now is Greg Bormus. You're on your 8th substitute, your 8th player already in this game. I think Jackson Danzig might be the most athletic of the 3 brothers. If you've watched them, both of the older brothers played at the University of Scranton. Ethan's there now, having a great career. Older brother Ross was an All-American. Great defense by Greg Bormus off the bench, causes a 5-second violation.
The 6'1" senior, when he's in there, is playing tough. Abington Heights is going to call 32nd timeout, 5:26 remaining in this first half in a very low-scoring game. Matt, you kind of surprised at that?
Not necessarily. I said if they can keep if Abington Heights can own the tempo a little bit, then they can keep this game a little bit lower. Less possessions benefits Abington Heights. If Prep can get out and run, then this game could quickly become a 20-8 game, and all of a sudden we're not talking about less possessions. We're talking about having to have your 7-footer step out and hit some threes again.
So both teams have called early 30-second timeouts. Both teams only have 1 team foul against them. And we have 5:26 remaining in the second quarter. 9-8 Prep. Neither team really lighting up the basket here. With a capacity crowd on hand here at Scranton Prep High School.
You know, the other thing is you see quite a few college coaches. We see Tommy Dempsey here. We see coaches from Scranton, from Susquehanna. We see there are coaches that I recognize and don't even remember.
5-second call going the other way.
Point of emphasis.
You have to know as a player, if they're going to call it on one side, they're going to be watching it on the other. So here's Rothenberg. 5'7" senior, quick trap. Back over to Tinsley, the football quarterback. High arcing shot from Maxwell, but the sensational sophomore pulls it down out to the senior, Rothenberger. No good.
Jackson Danzig, great board. Can tell that's a coach's kid.
Danzig from the opposite side puts it back in, up and quick, and it gets blocked and shot up by Bailey. All kinds of action on the floor. Finally, Logan Bailey finds the bucket.
Logan Bailey with the shot, Brett Parra with the rebound and put back. He misses, Logan Bailey gets the rebound and puts it up. It's fun watching athletic basketball players play at this level.
A lot of these players probably play a lot of AAU with JV hoops, right, Matt? You would think.
I think they do. You look at the local AAU programs, especially in the Lackawanna League and JBB Hoops. John Bucci's program at Backward Hoops is a great opportunity for kids to get better and continue improving, seeing different talent and better competition.
Maxwell has 8 points. 2 of those are downtown trifectas. He's got 2 threes and his first field goal of the night. Simons trying to match Maxwell. It can't do that.
That's a great shot for Leo O'Boyle. I haven't watched Brett play enough to know that is in Wes Simons's repertoire at this point, but Leo O'Boyle is able to get someone to step out and hit a shot like that.
First post up for Maxwell of the night. Can't get it over Simons. Prep first opportunity. 2-on-1.
Got to take the easy layup there.
Simon blocked for Maxwell. Here come the Comets. 2-on-1. Hoop in the harm. Trey Kohler.
That's a great take. Before the game, we talked about Prep needing to get out and force tempo. You saw Abington Heights force the tempo there. It was a 2-on-1 break. Trey Kohler takes it down the left side, gives a little Euro step, and Logan Bailey doesn't know who to commit to. Causes the foul and one by Trey Kohler. We're going to come back with one free throw.
3-point lead for Abington. Media timeout, 3:02 left in the half.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wendy's.
As you might expect, the Scranton Prep students out, and that is what Trey Kohler will have to look at now as he shoots the end of a three-point opportunity. And looking for Abington, that's the only time they have to look at this end of the court. When they switch, they get to see a wall. So the Abingtonites, sophomore now, trying to complete the three-point play. He does. 6 points for the sophomore. 4-point lead from Abington. As their student section over in the corner is getting all riled up.
Trey Kohler's a great player. However, when you focus your emotion into the stands, it can take away from a lot of the very good things that you do. Keep your mind on the court. Great player. Stay with it.
Danzig double teamed underneath, but finds Rothenberger. Wisely brings it out. Great job by the sophomore Tinsley to go after that rebound and get fouled.
Can't teach kids to hustle. Kids, if you can't get your own shot, go hit the boards. Tinsley did a great job of moving while the ball was in the air. Didn't come down with it, tried to tip it in, but strong, two-hand tip it in. Gets the foul, so he gets to go to the line. Had a great conversation before the game with Ken Bianchi. And one of the things that he said was a key also was that they had to hit their free throws. In their first game, they shot 44% from the free throw line. If they hit their free throws today, even half of their free throws, then they have a chance to extend the lead that they have now
And lane violation on one of the Abington Heights players. Ken Bianchi can't believe that.
Coach's kid.
So a 5-point lead, largest of the night for either team. Leo O'Boyle, he can hit that from downtown. O'Boyle, his 9th three of the season.
One of the things we talked about as well was the ability for Leo O'Boyle to hit that three. If Leo O'Boyle can hit a jump shot, then what it does is it forces your 7-footer to get out of the paint and guard somebody so that it opens up the lane for guys like Patty Casey and Logan Bailey to get to the rim.
Inside the Simons. Great pass to Bailey, and just like that, Prep makes their own run, and they tie this game at 16. 5-0 run for the Cavaliers. Remember, last game it was 25-20 at the half in favor of Scranton Prep.
Prep has the opportunity to take the lead now. It's tied 16-16 with 1:38 left. Prep's ball.
Great cut by Bailey. Cavaliers take the lead. "7-0 run.
Abington's got to get it over. Let's push that ball down to the baseline and get Prep back inside the three-point line. The longer the ball stays up at half court, that benefits Scranton Prep.
Logan Bailey has 8 points, all those here in the second. Maxwell hasn't scored in a while, and counter that with a big 2.
That gives him 10 for the game.
Under a minute to play, tied at 18.
High screen and roll.
Bailey pops shot. He's feeling it now. 10 for him in the quarter. This is where Abington will most likely play for the last shot.
That's right. Abington can go into the halftime tied. That would be a strong first half for them.
Well, they shot it up pretty quick. 20 seconds left. Cavaliers have an opportunity. Running is Para, and he's fouled.
Good hard foul by Jackson Danzig. Great take by Brett Para. When you play basketball at this level with teams this strong, you're going to have fouls like that. Nothing dirty, great take, great foul. Good job going for the ball. One of the things we talked about was the influence of the referees, and that more than likely you weren't going to see that. And I think that what both of these coaches want is they want their players to be able to finish at the rim. They want to be able to block shots. They want to be able to play a little bit physical. We've had 5 total foul calls in the first half, and there's 15 seconds left. I think they've done a very, very good job as officials. Yes, I'm biased, but I still think
you are?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Here's Para at the line, just shoots 46% on the season. Had 19 points against Valley West, that's his season high, and he misses both ends there. So Comets can tie it going into the break. They break the press. Danzig, no good. And there is a whistle, and we're going to have a travel. Whoa, Comets.
That's going to
get that back. The ball. Andrew Kettle can't believe it.
Abington's going to have the ball on the baseline, 1.6 left. This is the type of out-of-bounds play that coaches work on over and over and over. What's my quick hitter? What can I get so that the player catching the basketball can either shoot right away or take one dribble?
Well, quickly, Simon's in the game to counter Seth Maxwell, the 7-footer. The alley-oop is good. Maxwell hits it at the buzzer. And the Comets come back to tie this one at the half.
Great
as we go into the break. Both teams, you mentioned runs, Matt. Both teams had the runs in both quarters. And how apropos, we are tied at 20 at the break. When we come back, Aaron Dugan with a special guest, and then Matt and I will have first half highlights on the way.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wendy's.
Cancer game here tonight. Abington Heights 20, Scranton Prep 20 at the half. We got a good one going on here tonight. I have such a special guest with me now. This is my lovey, Kathy McDonald from Clark Summit. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So for those who didn't get a chance to hear your speech at the ceremony earlier or hear your story, just tell us a little bit about what you've been through.
I'm I'm fighting cancer for the second time. I just finished up chemo. What else? Let's see. It's a lot of work, I told you. I have chemo brain. They call it chemo brain. I got to think. It's there, but it's got to come out of the mouth.
So 9 years ago, you were actually diagnosed.
Yeah, that is correct.
And then it came back in September?
Yes.
What was that like?
Scary.
Yeah.
Very scary.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's called stage 4 metastasis, which there's really no cure for it at that point. So, but that's okay. I don't look at stages. I don't look at where it's at. I look at progress. And my progress, say what I tell you, I can't say it. My progress is good. So.
And you got some good news last week.
I did get good news last week. My PET scan came back good.
Good.
And when I mean good, I don't mean eradicated.
Right.
It's not completely gone, but it's shrunk or some of the pieces are gone. So that's good.
How are you feeling?
Excellent.
Good.
Well, you know me. I'm at the game last night. I'm here today.
So let's talk about this game tonight. You actually spoke before the game. You got a standing ovation. You have lots of love and support around you. Talk to me about your speech, what you touched on.
Just a little bit about everything. Like, you know, it's just like basketball. It's a team sport.
Yeah.
So I feel with everybody's donations to the American Cancer Society, to any organization that helps anybody with cancer, it's wonderful because you can't do it by yourself.
Right.
So like tonight it touched me a little bit more because I know a lot of people both from Abington and Prep. And like I said, with my kids playing at Abington, we have sports at Abington. We ran across a lot of great, amazing people from just sports itself. So, and people are amazing. They really are. I mean, the support that I had is just unbelievable. Like, it's just unbelievable.
And something that we had talked about actually last week, something that kind of stuck out to me was you mentioned about being an advocate for yourself. What does that mean?
That's correct. Well, you know, I think sometimes when people go to doctors, they feel they're God, that they're going to fix everything and they know everything, and they're just as human as we are. Okay, but they have a lot more education. But I think you still, as a patient, need to be an advocate for yourself. Like, ask questions. If you read up on something, ask questions. Get an answer. Get an answer. You know, and therefore that's how you get comfortable with your doctors. Like if I had a question and I'm reading it up, I'll go right in there with my oncologist and ask her. And if she has an answer like that, she's a pretty smart cookie. Okay.
So besides being an advocate for yourself, do you have any other advice? I mean, you've been there, you're doing it for the second time, you're battling this for the second time. Some people may have just got diagnosed or just got a family member diagnosed. What is your advice?
Well, I mean, there's, you know, you got to go with the diagnosis. You can feel sorry for yourself for 5 minutes, but you got to move on. I mean, it is what it is. You can't change it. So why live your life miserable thinking things are going to change? It's not going to change. So, you know, you got to make life what you want it to make it. So, and I choose to have fun. I love watching my girls play basketball. My whole family's here with me tonight. We love it. You know, that's for me. That's key for me.
Well, you definitely do have the right attitude. It's
Thanks,
very contagious. Love you. All right.
Well, we're friends now, so you're in trouble. I'll be texting you.
All right, we'll be right back, guys. Thanks for watching.
Is that real bad?
Welcome back to Scranton, everyone, to the St. Francis Xavier Center. Capacity crowd on hand, and why not? We have a good one, Matt Schaefer, between Abington and Scranton Prep. We're tied at 20. You mentioned runs. Both teams went on their mini runs, and that's where a low-scoring first half.
That's right. We started out with two different 8-0 runs. Great half of basketball. Low scoring, I think, by both teams' accounts. If you're looking at both season averages and in game plan. But if this stays as a close, low-scoring game, I think that benefits Abington Heights more than Prep.
Let's take a look at some of the first quarter and first half highlights. First quarter, here comes Abington Heights out on an 8-0 run, Matt.
That's right, Kohler with a foul line jumper. Then you had 2 threes by the big 7-footer Seth Maxwell. Go to the other end of the court, Chris Dendy, couple threes in the first half.
Yeah, 8-7 after one, Abington led, and little mini run by Scranton Prep.
That's right. Big play of the first half. I think both big plays of the first half are by Abington. Trey Kohler's take on the break was very big. Leo O'Boyle for Prep off the bench, or excuse me, from the top of the key. Couple great takes by Logan Bailey. And to end the first half, had a great inbounds play to Seth Maxwell. Tied the game up at 20, and we're a couple seconds away from the second half.
Well, in that first half, Seth Maxwell, he had 12 of 20 for Abington Heights. And in the second quarter alone, Logan Bailey had 5 field goals for 10 points. They're leading scorers. So as we expect, Bailey, Maxwell going at it.
That's right. Logan Bailey is one of our keys to the game. Trey Kohler was as well. Patty Casey was as well. All of the kids on the court so far have played well. Abington Heights still hasn't gone to the bench. Let's see if they can keep their legs. Patty Casey with a mid-range jump shot off a handoff screen.
Yeah, he has 4 points. Gets it going quickly here in the second half. Same starters, backdoor. Trey Kohler finds the bucket.
Great cut, great pass by coach's son, Jackson Danzig. Wonder if the halftime game plan was to get Patty Casey more involved, because 2 trips up court, both trips he's taken some pretty good shots.
What adjustments do you make if you're the Comets?
If you're the Comets, you're happy with the way that it's going right now. The only thing that you may want to consider is how are your defensive matchups going to continue if Prep starts to pressure? And what I mean there is, are you able to keep George Tinsley guarding Brett Para, or if Leo O'Boyle is in the game, do you have to put him out there? If Prep starts to get out into the open court, then they're going to try to put this game away just using that tempo.
Tinsley found the baseline, but it's quickly knocked away. Here comes Casey. Up to Dende. Bailey a little move and rejected by Seth Maxwell.
Seth's 4th block of the game. I think he's also altered 2 others. I'm going to give him credit with 6 shots changed so far.
So underneath Para. Leo Boyle. Nowhere to go. And here comes Logan Bailey. They'll set it up. Patty Casey, the senior, headed to the University of Sciences, hands it over to Logan Bailey.
Back screen to a screen and roll. Having Brett Para come up and set that screen is going to pull Seth Maxwell away from the basket. What it also does is it forces the other defenders to have to help into the lane. It's a great example on that play of that, because Patty Casey hits a 3 because his defender had to help just in case the screen and roll.
Patty Casey with all 5 points for the Cavaliers here in the second half. Oh, sophomore getting underneath is Tinsley.
Physical rebound, physical game. Great take.
Tinsley has 3. Both teams will be under their averages, I'm sure, tonight. 3 players for the Comets average over 11 points per game. And Seth Maxwell just short of that at 10.4. He leads the Comets here with 15. Maxwell had 7 against Prep the last time, so you can see what the Comets want to do coming in, get it to their big guy. Danzig's turnaround, no good, but right there, gets it right back. This time uses the glass.
Very important for the 7-footer to be on the boards. Great example of keeping the play alive. Got 2 more points for his team. Backcourt foul by Trey Kohler, going for a steal.
Trey Kohler
I believe that's his first foul.
Yeah, not many people in foul trouble. His first of the second half, and that came in the backcourt. Comets have not gone to their bench at all. Prep has played 8. Let's see how that picks up. Bailey, gonna count. Goes to the line to finish a 3-point play. Not sure if Ken Bianchi will like that.
Nice backdoor cut, good find, up strong. Gets to
Bailey
try
looking
for a
Bailey looking for his
play.
13th point, Matt.
Basket's good.
And he gets it.
Puts Prep up by 2.
Yep. 28-26, 4:55 in the third quarter. Abington Heights ranked 3rd in 5A by Penn Live. Scranton Prep number 2 in 4A this season. Bailey, his second foul. Now things are starting to heat up a little bit. Crowds get into it a little bit more on both sides.
That's right. They let him play in the first half, and they want to let him play here too, but you still have to stay under control. This isn't going to become a football game. You've got 3 of the best officials in the area, and they're not going to let this game get out of hand.
Great
Another
cut.
backdoor cut.
Kohler lays it up and in.
We've seen it twice so far in the first half. Jackson Danzig has the ball on the wing. Trey Kohler cuts from the opposite corner along the baseline. Jackson Danzig with 2 finds, 4 points for Kohler.
A couple quick ones from Abington. They're tied up at 28. Casey can't get that one. And it's going to go over to Abington Heights.
That screen and roll is forcing the 7-footer Seth Maxwell to come up high. What it's allowing to happen is it's freeing up the offensive boards for Scranton Prep. Seth Maxwell has to get off the screen and rim dive as a defender quickly.
Kohler, a little hop step, no good, but right there on the backside is George Tinsley.
Another great rebound. We said before the game, rebounds would be a key.
Comets going to slow this pace down. So Scranton Prep came off quickly to begin the third, but Abington has matched that. And somehow you overshoot a 7-footer, it goes out of bounds, and we'll take a timeout. 3:22 remaining in the third. It's the Comets 30 and the Cavaliers 28. We'll be right back. There's Coach Andrew Kettle, his 4th season at Scranton Prep, Matt, and how about 83 wins, just 12 losses in that time period. He's come right in, and a great fit for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, he brings a style that kids like to play nowadays. He likes to play that up-tempo style on both sides of the court.
And there's Ken Bianchi.
On the other side, you got Ken Bianchi. He's been on the bench forever. I believe longer than I'm alive.
Somewhere, yeah.
A lot of respect for the development that he has. You talk to any of his former players, and they speak so incredibly highly about him.
Another block by Maxwell. Trying to say what out on Simons. It did not. It will remain Cavaliers ball underneath.
That's his 6th block so far this game.
Jake Brown, no good. Comets going to slow this one down, and Prep's going to try to pick it up half court. Man-to-man for Scranton Prep. Rothenberger, got to give it up, he does.
I don't think it'd be a bad thing for Abington, and I don't know if this is in their game plan, but I don't know if this would be a bad time to come up, set a screen for Rothenberger, let him get free, let him turn the corner, and see if he can get into the lane or at least to the high post. Prep's defense on the point guard, and in this case on Rothenberger's, very strong. We've already had 2 5-second violations, and we were close to a third there.
Jump ball goes to the Comets. Boy, it's knocked away from Casey right at the line, into the hands of Danzig. Loose ball, let's see. It's gonna stay Abington. A lot going on right there.
We've said it a couple times. These referees are going to continue to let them play. Patty Casey's going to come out of the game.
Yeah, he got
with,
some blood, I think, on his hand.
Some blood on
a little
scratch
cut.
on his hand.
They'll take care of that. That will bring up Dende. Nick will come back in, the senior.
It's a nice problem to have when you're bringing in one of your best three-point shooters off the bench.
Abington last week really took care of 2 teams. They beat Wallenpaupack 60-20 and Valley View 54-33. 2 losses this year, 1 to Prep, 1 to Williamsport, 58-47, up at their home turf. But of course, Williamsport a very good team as well. Bailey, coast to coast, can't get it to go. We'll have a foul on the floor. 2 shots coming.
One of the keys we talked about, get him out in the open court. Logan Bailey with a steal on the wing, pushed it out, got into a 2-on-1 break. Great, very strong take to the basket. Got the shot up, didn't go, so he's going to get 2 free throws here.
Bailey 1 for 1 on the night. Hits this one. Of course, Bailey has not made his college choice. A lot of people like to see him go to the University of Scranton for obvious reasons. The last name Bailey, of course, synonymous with the Royals.
His father Todd's in the Hall of Fame at the University of Scranton. You know, one of the nice things about Logan is he's a very smart kid. He's very articulate. Whether he decides to play basketball at the next level or not, the success for a kid like that is going to be 10 years down the road when he's got a great career.
A great practice as a doctor.
As a physician.
Yep. We're tied at 32 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Neither team has been able to get away. Biggest lead in the 2nd quarter was 5 and knocked away by Dende.
Scores tied 30-30, minute 55 left. Abington ball out of bounds under their own basket. At the end of the first half, there was 1.3 seconds left. They ran a screen. Tinsley screened for Maxwell. Maxwell went right to the front of the rim, tip and in.
That was off the mark, and Tinsley, not liking the call, will go over to the Cavaliers.
Kid plays a lot of intensity. One of the things that you notice right away is the incredible intensity that George Tinsley plays with. In the first half, Trey Kohler played with a very high level of intensity. It's infectious when you can get your players to play that way all game and on both sides of the ball.
Head fake, Casey, back of the rim. Talked about rebounding, and that's exactly why you have Maxwell in there. Big defensive rebound. Another possession for Abington. Oh, Danzig, smooth.
We've got Logan Bailey in the open court. Nice move, tries to go baseline. Ball's tipped out of bounds, last touch by Dendy. We're gonna have Abington ball.
That was like a Jake Ryan pass. Here's a replay, Matt.
Here you go, out of bounds, a little bit of pressure. Now, Abington has 2 guys out of the play, 1 gets back. Couple nice moves. Again, we're back to live basketball. Great look, underhand.
The 2 sophomores find one another, and Tinsley lays it up and in. 4-point lead for the Comets.
Going to be fun to watch those 2 for the next couple of years.
Absolutely. So a 4-0 run for the Comets, and Patty Casey wants to get rid of that. Jake Brown just does it all underneath. Playing with a purpose. Jake Brown, he's the type of guy every team needs, that scrapper.
That's right. One of the biggest things that is kids get car ride coaching, I call it. They get in the car and dad says to them, you've got to score more. And the problem is there's only one basketball. If you're a kid listening to the game, if you can just rebound, set screens, do all the little things, play defense, it's very, very hard for a coach to put you on the bench in big times.
Brown, the fight. Goes right back to Dende. Got it!
That ball was touched by 6 or 7 different players, ends up in the hands of the best shooter on the court right now. Big three from the top of the key, cuts the lead to 1. Abington's going to go for the last shot. 15 seconds left.
Both teams split last year. Comets wanted to keep the split going. They lost to Prep at their place in January. Brown on the floor. Calls timeout.
That's a hustle play. Those are the plays that elevate your team. You see a kid dive on the court. You see him get a loose ball, tip the ball on defense. You see the intensity. He carries that intensity from the court all the way down to the bench.
Full timeout call by Andrew Kettle. More like Jake Brown on the floor called the full timeout.
That's right. You know, what I started to say a few minutes ago was being a role player. Jake Brown understands his role. His role is not to be a starter and score 15 or 20 points a game. His role is to come in and bring a spark. Plays like that cause the rest of your team to buy into the hustle that you're given. And if you can continue to give hustle like that, it's infectious, just like we talked about. And those players just start to have the same level of hustle. They're going to be in defensive position. They're going to find you. They're going to continue to get out in the open court. It elevates everybody's defense.
A couple weeks away from districts, Matt, believe it or not, maybe the hottest team besides Abington in the District 2 5A standings, Crestwood.
Mark Atherton's still coaching?
Yeah, Mark Atherton. I saw them against Scranton. He said we're young, inexperienced, but they're in second place right now and giving people a lot of trouble. May have some upsets already. And we'll look at 4A in this fourth quarter. Prep's leading that, but it's a tight one as well. So after the timeout, 5 seconds left. Casey, step back. Can't get it to go. Andrew Kettle didn't like the way they ran that play, but it doesn't matter. It's Abington with a 1-point lead. Get up, take a quick break. It's going to be a great ending here in Scranton.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us for this special game here tonight. I have a guest with me now. This is Micah Woodard. Micah, you and your wife Lauren are going to be co-hosting the basketball gala this May with Andrew Kettle and his wife Bridget. Yeah. How excited are you? And tell me how you got involved in this organization.
Yeah, we're very excited. My wife and I, we originally got involved 2 years ago. Our son Phoenix is a cancer survivor, so he was diagnosed at 3 years old. And you know, we went through all of those things years ago. And for us, it's when you're going through the battle with cancer as a family, it's really hard to ask for help.
Yeah.
You feel a little bit of pride. You feel a little awkward asking for help. And you know, so there were so many people that helped us over the years, and we wanted to be involved and give back some of our story, some of what we went through with our family's battle with cancer, and to share a little bit. It's an exciting game.
It is.
To share a little bit of some of the successes and some of the struggles that we went through in order to encourage other people to give back in that fight against cancer. So we all go through it. We all know somebody who's going through it. So it's just a joy to be a part of it. And our son was the honoree 2 years ago. We became involved. We helped out again last year with the gala. And then we were very graciously asked to be the chairs along with Andrew and Bridget. And Andrew would be here with me, but he's a little busy right now.
He's a little busy.
And but as exciting as this game is, we're really excited about the gala. We've got some big things planned for this year, some big surprises hopefully coming up. So it's going to be a great year. It's a great event to be involved in. Raised a lot of money over the past couple years, so we're really excited.
Definitely, and it's a really fun event. It's not your typical black tie event. You know, we got suits and sneakers and girls in gowns shooting free throws, so it's definitely something fun to be a part of. And what's the date for that gala?
That date is May 13th. Okay. It's the day before Mother's Day.
Okay.
So, you know, if you want to bring your mom to a great event, it's a great one to be a part of. So, Mohegan Sun, May 13th. Tickets are available now on the cvcbasketball.org website, and you can purchase those for the event coming up here in a couple of months.
And we can see here we have a silent auction. There's dinner, live entertainment. I know you can't exactly say who will be there, but we can say there'll be some big names and definitely people to fill the room.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if we're going to be completely honest, cancer, it takes a lot of effort.
Yes.
You've got to do a lot in order to beat this horrible disease. And in order to do that, we have to pull out all the stops and try and get some great personalities there, some great people from the Division I basketball world there. So we have a few people that we've been talking to. We're pretty excited about it, and hopefully it all comes together, and we're going to have a great night.
Well, awesome. Well, lastly, I just want to ask you, how is Phoenix doing? I know I see him running around all the time, tons of energy. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's doing great.
Great.
Turned 13 last week. So as parents, we're dealing with all of those things that you deal with, but we get to deal with it. You know, we're very fortunate as parents, you know, that he's here with us. You know, we're one of the lucky families. So many families go through this and it doesn't end well for them. So for us, we really are one of the lucky ones. And, you know, as tough as it is having a 13-year-old boy, we wouldn't change it for the world. So,
awesome. Well,
yeah.
thanks for stopping to chat.
Absolutely. Thank
and
you.
we'll see you at the gala.
Thank you. We'll see you there.
All right, back to you guys.
Of course, you can get those tickets, cbcbasketball.org, and a big loss. That's why the stoppage, that's why the full time off from Abington. You saw Jackson Danzig there with ice on his lip.
Yeah, you know, on the previous play, we talk about Jake Brown, and Jake Brown made contact with Jackson Danzig. Nothing dirty. It was a screen away from the ball. Everything looked right, but Jackson just caught it. It looks like he may have put his tooth through his lip, but medical staff's over there going to try to see if they can get him back in here as quick as they can.
Abington had to use a substitution. Lucas Goodman, the 6'2 senior, number 35, comes in. A little bit different player than Danzig, so let's see if this affects the offense at all, since Goodman's been on the bench the entire game.
Let's see, they run a back screen high pop out to Goodman. I think his role, from what it seems, is going to be just a distributor.
Oh, he lost the ball there. And thought it went off his foot. The referee didn't see it that way. Will remain Comet's ball. Logan Bailey into the game. Simons goes out.
Looked like a little bit of contact that may have led that out of bounds. While you never want to get two calls wrong, may have ended up with the team that should have had it.
There you see Ken Bianchi, Jeff McClain back him, a longtime assistant. Those two leading the Comets for 21 years.
Conversation with Jeff McClain this weekend, and he said he wants to stick around. Both of them wanted to stick around.
Well, why not? You got two great sophomores, Tinsley and Kohler. The future is bright for Abington.
That's right. Plus, they've got another kid, Jake Nealon, very good player.
Yep. Saw another sophomore.
As usual, they have size coming up, their youth programs.
Dende, step trifecta, downtown.
It's his fourth three of the game.
So that's 40 on the season for Dende, leads the team. Biggest lead of the night for Prep, matches the biggest lead for either team.
Ball goes in, back to the basket for the 7-footer. Nice move, faded a little bit.
Oh, Brown's gonna push. Brown gets it back, and he's gonna say he was out of bounds, stepped out.
Said that he was out, jumped back in to grab that pass. Didn't establish before possession.
Danzig still being attended to by the trainers. Trying to look at Maxwell against O'Boyle. Turnaround, no good.
Seth has to go to the basket. He's 7 foot tall. And I know you're playing against a pretty good kid in Leo O'Boyle. This is a great opportunity for a 7-footer to show what a 7-footer is supposed to do in the paint and in the lane.
Jake Brown's gonna pick up that foul.
Foul by Jake Brown. Still got ice on Jackson Danzig's lip. Looks like, from what I see some of the players trying to tell people in the stands, either he lost a tooth or he put a tooth through the lip.
Well, maybe a trip to the hospital after the game. Let's see if he's going to be able to come back in. Rothenberger at the top, guarded by Brown. That's a matchup. Oh, he slips him, and O'Boyle rejects it. And we're going to foul on Goodman, I believe, from Abington Heights.
That's right. if you're only going to get in the game for a couple minutes, get your use out of it. Leo Boyle with the big block. There you see Lucas Goodman, probably a step behind where he should have been. Jackson Danzig coming in. You see his lip. Pretty big lip. I wonder if he's going to have to go get some stitches after the game.
I think the key word after the game.
It's a coach's kid.
He's not coming out.
Coaches' kids don't want to be on the bench.
No.
Mine doesn't.
Shot up to Mark Dende, right to Brown. Prep will set it up.
High screen, they're trying to pull Evan Maxwell away from it, make him defend something.
Let's see if Casey can't get he does get the home rule.
Could have counted to 3 for as long as that was on the rim.
Lead up to 8. At one point, we were tied at 30, I believe.
I think we were.
Yeah, we were.
More defense.
So it's a 12-4 run. Bailey, Maxwell, foul.
Good take. Boy, I'll tell you what, for a 7-footer, Evan Maxwell ran that floor very well. I thought that Logan Bailey was going to be able to pull away there. If Logan Bailey dunks that ball this game, the crowd erupts. Puts Prep up by 10. But I'll tell you what, I hope that hustle keeps this game a pretty good game.
2 of the top players in the league matching up. Bailey, Maxwell going to the line. Welcome back to a very loud St. Francis Xavier Center at Scranton Prep High School. The Cavaliers lead by 8, the biggest lead of the game so far by either team. Logan Bailey to the line to shoot 2.
First one's good. That gives him 4 for 4 for the game.
Yeah, he's perfect on the night, Matt. Our statistician, Nicholas I, doing a nice job tonight for us.
It's good company.
He's right
nice
up on
little
it.
basketball player, too.
Yeah, he's first time ever hits that. So now, Abington trailing, Matt. What do you have to do? Review the comments.
If you're Abington, you've unfortunately got to play Prep's game. You've got to play on the offensive side of the basketball. You got to push your tempo a little bit. You've got to get a couple baskets quickly. You can't allow Prep to extend the game. Time and score are very important. You'll see Prep go into more of a 4-corner set. You'll see them start to try to use the clock. If their mentality and their strategy is to typically try to shoot in less than 15 to 18 seconds, you're going to see them try to extend that to the 30-second mark. And what it ends up doing is it tires Abington out. And 2 possessions, 3 possessions, 4 possessions later, Abington no longer has the legs to be able to continue to do what they need to do on the offensive end.
Well, District 2 4A, this is Scranton Prep. They lead Wyoming area and Myers by a couple games. 8 make it there. And we'll have Berwick and Myers on Valentine's night down in Bulldog country, and that should be a heck of a game down there. So playoffs right around the corner. February's here tomorrow. And it's been an exciting season. I can't believe it's almost done, too. We're getting into playoff time, Matt.
Trey, what do we got, about 2 weeks left?
Yep.
Can't wait. Favorite time of the year is states, though.
Yep. And district play, of course, at the arena again for District 2. 6 classifications, 12 games in all. Starts on Thursday.
We went down last year. They still had the 4 classifications for both boys and girls, and you had 8 great games down there.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to seeing 12 games down there this year. I know my boys want to go down and see the games. Can't wait.
Both these teams appeared in the final last year, both won it. Big block, Jake Brown. Going to be a technical foul, and that's Jake Brown just a little too emotional. Got in his face.
That's right.
And of course, you're a referee. You're not going to stand for this.
Trey Kohler comes right down. Great, strong take. Maybe a travel either way. Jake Brown with the big block. Trey Kohler doesn't need to hear about whether or not you just blocked that ball. By rule, that's a technical foul. That's going to be a technical foul at all. Should be at all levels. And in this game, it's the right spot. It's a great opportunity for the referees to show, we're going to make sure that this is done the right way.
Tinsley, an 84% shooter on the season, goes to the line. He's 1 for 2 on the night. Hits the first one calmly. Prep was on a 14-4 run. Little by little, let's see if the Comets can whittle this lead down.
You know, when you have a guy like Jake Brown, he comes off the bench. What he just did was he got a technical for doing what he's supposed to do. His role is to continue to bring emotion. That's a great example on that play of what his role is to do. Took it maybe just a hair too far. The referees had to get involved.
So a full timeout called by Andrew Kettle and Scranton Prep, leading by 8 now. It was 30-all at one point in the third quarter. Since then, it's been all Prep, and Comets trying to come back slowly and surely. Upcoming schedule for us on my TV. Matt and I will be back for a great one at Dunmore, Holy Cross Dunmore, Battle of the Borough, and was a great game last time I was at that one at Holy Cross, and that's girls basketball. And we get to see Maddie Martin and Abby Anderson, 2 Division I prospects that are going to Division I schools. And then we'll wrap our regular season up on Valentine's night with Myers and Berwick, February 14th.
Looks like a great slate. I think you have Doug Walsh with you
on the
out
last
of Berwick,
one.
right?
Yeah.
Doug's a
well,
great
you're a little
guy.
busy Valentine's night. You know, your wife wants to keep you home, go out for a romantic dinner. Mine just get
that
out
or
the
my
door.
boys are going to have us at the gym. It's going to be one of the two.
Probably.
You know, my partners at work, they may have me at work still.
Let's hope not.
8, 9, 10 o'clock.
Shoo.
Going to get back to action here. 2:57 left. Prep up 44-36. Abington ball at half court.
Yeah, they could make it a 4-point play with the 2 free throws on the technical.
That's right.
That's one way to get back into it.
If you're Abington, you want to score with the clock stopped. Prep's goal here is to keep that clock moving as much as you can.
Back door. Danzig is going to be fouled. That will be the 4th team foul on Scranton Prep, and it will
another foul on Brown.
On Brown, 2 in a row for Jake Brown.
The unfortunate thing is the technical fouls, what it does is it causes the referees, you've got their attention. And, you know, to the rest of the game, that might have been a ticky-tack foul. But to the last 2 minutes, that's the foul that needs to be called.
Hey, there's Jake Brown, just what you need. Scrappy guy. We have a foul on Abington, and then Brett Brown goes to the line. Will be 1-1 rest of the way for the Cavaliers. So Brown goes to the line first time tonight, 2 for 4 on the season. Foul was on Kohler, just his second. Nobody on either team in foul trouble. Oh, he misses the front end. Break for Abington. Cut back into the Prep lead. This one is far from over.
This is a great environment. You hope that this game comes down to a last shot. You've had a great night. You had 35 minutes of an unbelievable ceremony before the game. You're here for a great cause. You've raised almost $1.4 million over the last few years. What better way to end it than to have a great finish?
Yep. A lot of action. Brown going at it. Along with Kohler. We're going to have a foul called. Going to be called against Jake Brown again. Here we go, Matt.
Jake Brown's going to foul out on this play. Now, great hustle here. There's a lot of intensity. Now, to me, you probably could have got away with getting in there and making the call. I think one of the best things that Abington can do here, call a quick 30-second timeout, reset your guys, and remind them that you're 8 points away from a win here. You can do that. You can cut that down. It's only going to take you a couple possessions.
It was just Brown's 4th foul. Into Maxwell. Can't get it to go. You have to make those if you're Maxwell and 7 foot tall.
I agree. I actually think that was his best post move of the game so far. It's the first move where he shot the ball with his hips and his shoulders both going towards the backboard or towards the rim at the same time. You're going to see Prep run a essentially a 5-out offense here. They're going to try to keep that ball spread. If you dribble at someone, in a situation like that, you want to be careful that you don't get trapped.
Third foul on Kohler, to the line to shoot 1-1. Dende. Dende's first foul shots of the night. The first one is good.
Minute 52, you're up 9, you got another free throw. Up 10, you want to keep the clock running, play good defense. More importantly for Prep, you want to rebound the basketball. For Abington, you know Prep's probably not going to try to run and get out, so you got to send 4 or 5 guys to the offensive boards every single time right now.
Danzig, Bailey, forcing his way in.
Physical game. I believe that's a very, very good late whistle. I thought that he was fouled. I bet you, I can tell you with almost 100% certainty, if that ball goes in, that they don't call the foul. In the refereeing world, they call that outcomes-based refereeing. They wait just that hair to see what happens in the play and how did it truly affect it. In this case, Jackson Danzig makes a great take. Logan Bailey plays pretty good defense. Physical take, he misses the shot, but gets rewarded with the free throws. Hits the first. We're on to the second in a 9-point game.
So Danzig hits 2.
Here you go. You see Abington pick up some pressure, picking it up full court. I wouldn't be surprised to see them run and jump perhaps.
One
there
foul away from 1-1 in Abington. They'll send Prep to the line for 1-1. Wide open. Simon's underneath. I didn't see him. Let's see if Abington wants to foul. And there it is. Minute 4 left in the game. Dende going to go to the line. He just hit the last 2. This one will be 1-1.
Next foul on Abington's going to put Prep into the double bonus. Next foul on Prep will have Abington shooting a 1-1.
Oh, Dende quickly shot that one. So here comes Danzig. He's just going to race right in. Can't get it to go.
Tip by Tinsley. Logan Bailey ends up with the ball. Patty Casey wants to get it over half court. That's okay. There's nothing dirty there.
Yep. That's a good foul by Danzig on the reach around. Going to send Casey though to the line. Shoots 77% from there.
I think the last time down court, they let Patty Casey dribble it around, I think because they didn't want to foul him. Boy, oh boy. There's a lot of officials that you may see call an intentional foul on that. We all know it's going to happen. To me, it looked as if Patty Casey may have been losing his balance a little bit before that contact happened. And in a game like this, with the emotion and intensity that you've got, I'm okay with that not being an intentional foul.
Yeah, Patty's first shot at the line tonight, Matt. Headed to the University of Sciences. As you mentioned, last time he played Abington, he had 22 points. He's not going to match that tonight.
No, but if they end up with the win, then who cares how many points you had? You did what you needed to do as a team, not as a person.
Well, that's the thing. You look down both teams. There's not one player on both teams averaging more than 14 points, and most of them are right around there. These are both, in every aspect, a team.
Patty Casey with a big block. Big block. Good take. Patty Casey's got to be careful, though. Jake Brown just got teed up for a similar act after a jump ball. Made sure that Jackson Danzig, I believe at the time, knew about it.
Going to try the alley-oop. O'Boyle there, and Maxwell uses the glass.
Cuts it to a 7-point game. You're under 40 seconds.
And we're going to see fouls the rest of the way if you're Abington, I'm sure. This would put Prep into the driver's seat. Still undefeated in Division I play. They play North Pocono Friday night, and then they host Parkland here. And a matchup of District 11 powerhouse down there. And that's one thing about Prep, too. We mentioned Abington. Prep losses this year to Archbishop Wood and to Pottsville out of District 11.
10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, there was a very good North Pocono girls team, and they went undefeated, and they played all local teams. And one of the things that everyone kept saying was you got to schedule out of the area so that you can play against better talent, because even if you lose, you can still have good losses. And sometimes the loss will teach you the things that you need to do to be ready for the state tournament run. In this case, I think both of these teams, and especially both of these coaches, have always taken that mentality to heart. They play outside of the area. They're okay. I don't want to say okay. They understand the benefit of their team losing to strong teams like that. Well, I was talking too much. Logan Bailey got a rebound, was fouled.
And
again, we're back to the parade to the free throw line.
And
the unfortunate thing is Danzig's out.
Yep, Jackson Danzig picked up his 5th. So he's going to have a bloody lip, maybe some stitches, and he fouled out in a loss, maybe. Tough night for Danzig.
Watching him. It's fun watching him.
So both these teams, expect to see them, I would expect both at the arena, playing for a district title.
I think so. I think they're both in the driver's seat to get there. You know, if I remember right, in league play in the last 4 years, Scranton Prep has 3 losses. Am I right on this fact, Bob? And all 3 of those losses have come to Abington.
44 and 3, and all to Abington. Yep.
So I got to think that Prep feels confident that they can continue to be play tough.
It's not often though that Prep will beat Abington twice in a season.
No.
So it was the big run to begin that 4th quarter that really propelled Prep into this victory. They led 36-34 and led 44-34 on a 14-4 run, timeout by the Commons, Abington Heights. They have 1 left.
Second half of this game, Bob's been about Prep playing as a team. You know, at halftime, you heard a great story from Lovey. And, you know, one of the things that she preached at halftime about beating cancer, about, you know, overcoming any obstacle that you have along your treatment, is that you have to have a good team around you. And believe me, it's not the what you're trying to come up with here, but Prep's team in the second half played better than the individuals Prep had in the first half.
Well, both teams back to league play. Abington will play North Pocono, on Friday night. That was my bad. And then Prep comes right back. They play Valley View Friday and then Parkland on Saturday. So a couple games the rest of the way for league play. Prep in the driver's seat to take Division 1. That's probably their first goal of the season. Next goal will be districts and then on to states.
I think both of these teams can make a deep run into states. They have good coaching. They have very good talent. They play with strong emotion.
Abington last year lost in the first round to J.P. McCaskey, 50-46. That was in 4A last year. Prep beat Shamokin and then ran into Newman. Top team in the state. I believe they're the top team in 4A this year. 1-2, Newman and Prep this year. They're on the same side of the bracket. So Casey goes to the line. Shooting 2, makes the first.
You know, Bob, you got a 9-point game here, 7 seconds left. You know, I think it's a great time to just say thank you to all of you that have been listening. Coaches vs. Cancer program, it doesn't live in a vacuum. It lives in our community, and the support that we've seen through all of our community is what's helped this program continue to grow and continue to do the things that they need to do to help cancer patients, cancer survivors, and cancer families beat and live with this dreaded disease.
Well, we started out with tears, and we're going to end with cheers from the Scranton Prep side. But the big winner tonight, Coaches vs. Cancer, Suits and Sneakers Week. Great ceremony. Make sure you donate. We'll talk about more of that on the other side. We'll also talk to the winning coach right here on my TV.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wendy's.
Well, an exciting night here at Scranton Prep High School. First, Coaches versus Cancer ceremony, followed by a win by the Cavaliers over the Comets, but really dwarfed by the cause. And standing by now with Aaron Dugan, our players in the game, and Andrew Kettle from Scranton Prep. And Aaron, what a great night from beginning to end.
Absolutely, Bob. Emotional night from beginning to end. Logan, we'll start with you. The intensity, the emotion of tonight. Talk me through that.
Yeah, we knew this was a big game if we wanted to win the league, and that's one of our goals right now. So coming in here, Abington's always a great game. So we knew the emotions would be running high. We just try to keep our cool, and we try to stick together as a team.
Early on, maybe not shooting as well as you usually do, tied up at the half. Things really clicked, though, towards the end of the game. What was happening? What was clicking?
Yeah, I think our ball movement was a big thing. We started knocking down shots, like you said, and just our chemistry as a team, we really stuck together, and we knew we wanted to pull this one out.
And tonight definitely about more than basketball, obviously. What's going on with the team right now?
Yeah, it's been an emotional year for the team. We've had a few losses with our program, but overall we're strong, we're a family, and we're just one unit as a whole, so it's a great thing.
All right, thanks, Logan.
Thank you.
Move on to our next player of the game, Nick Dende. As I was talking with Logan, this is more than about just the game tonight. What's going on in everyone's minds right now?
Well, Coach vs. Cancer is such a great cause. We know everyone in the world gets affected by this, and we're so glad that so many people came out to support. This was definition of a team win. We're a family here at Prep, and I think it was exemplified on the court.
Absolutely, and the atmosphere, really great for a high school game here tonight. Did that help you guys?
Yes, I mean, we had a student section was awesome. Everyone's together. It's a great win, great family win.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Coach, I'm sure you're emotionally drained right now in many different ways, but if you could just touch on what this win means to you.
Sorry. I'm just super proud of these guys. We battled all night. It's a great team. We were a little sloppy early, and that's hats off to them. They're so big, and they're so well coached. Coach Bianchi does a great job. But I'm proud of our effort. We fought. We kept fighting. The ball wasn't going in early, and we didn't really rebound well early, and then we buckled our chin strap in the second half, and I thought our man-to-man defense in the second half was terrific. We have to be able to win games in the 50s. We like to score more, but we have to be able to win those games, and just really proud of our guys.
They definitely talked about this being a family, and that was evident throughout the whole night. What can you say about that?
Yeah, it's special. We got a special group of seniors. The underclassmen are learning a lot from them. Some nights it's your night, some nights it's not, and these guys, there's really no egos. I'm a fortunate guy to be around kids like this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys?
Well, what an emotional night, Matt, right from the beginning to end. And don't forget to make your pledge, cbcbasketball.org.
It's a great night. Again, you're at the tail end of the 9th year of the Coaches vs. Cancer Suits and Sneakers Week. Anyone that was able to tune in at 7 o'clock, the first 35 minutes of tonight's presentation was all about what Coaches vs. Cancer is trying to help, the people they're trying to help. Each school, there's 42 schools, 84 teams. All of them have adopted the program in their own special way. A few years ago, you had a school like Elk Lake raise $25,000. Yep. Last night, you had one basketball game raise
$28,000. Abington Scranton Prep girls.
Center for Comprehensive Cancer Care and the Delta Medics program. And then tonight you've got the Coaches vs. Cancer program. And the nice thing that we started about 4 years ago was we've made a real concerted effort to keep dollars local. One of the things that we had heard was, well, I don't really want to give my money because I'm not sure that it stays local. So what we did was we made sure that the patient services programs that are offered by the American Cancer Society are the true beneficiary of the dollars that are donated to the Coaches vs. Cancer campaign. So when someone says, if I donate, is it staying local? Of course it is.
It is.
It's helping
That's
with
right.
the Road to Recovery program. It's helping with the WIGS program. It's helping with Look Good, Feel Better program. The money stays local.
Yep, and we're happy to be at Fox 56 Sports and all of our sister stations, MyTV. We've been doing this now. This might be our 5th, 6th year, 7th year. I mean, it blends in every year. We do a couple games to raise money, and we have a great time. And another big game here tonight. Our next game here on my TV, not for Coaches versus Cancer, but still a great game nonetheless. Girls basketball, Dunmore entertaining Holy Cross, will be on the air at 7:30. Matt and I, that will be this Monday, coming up February 6th, the night after the Super Bowl. Don't forget, you can see the Super Bowl on Fox 56 this Sunday afternoon.
Go
So
Patriots.
The final score, Scranton Prep outscores Abington 33-23 in the second half. They win it by 10.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wendy's.